What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big Chunky, and today I thought we would go ahead and check out some more Diablo 4 information. I found an article by VentureBeat. I'll have it linked in the description below. But a few of the questions that they asked a couple of the developers of Diablo 4 really intrigued me. So I figured let's go ahead and go over these, and of course I'll give my thoughts on some of these questions. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. GamesBeat, I guess it might be a subsidiary, asked, let's say I'm somebody who liked Diablo 2 more than Diablo 3. What am I going to see in Diablo 4 that's going to make me happy? And I feel like that's a pretty important question because a lot of people did not like Diablo 3. And I guess I understand, but I kind of really don't because, I play games to play games. You can check out my other Diablo video for that. But a lot of people like Diablo 2 more than pretty much any game in the world, of course. It's a legendary game, and I understand. But they have answered this, and it's kind of what I thought they would say. They of course go and tell VentureBeat that from an aesthetic standpoint, it's going to be a lot darker and a lot more gothic, like Diablo 2. There were certain areas in Diablo 3 that I felt were a little bit too bright. I would say probably the desert world in particular. I forget what it's called, but Act 2 in the story was a little too bright for me, I would say. I'm also not the biggest fan of desert worlds, but they also said that they're going to add a lot more customization options, like the skill point system. And there's a question about the skill point system later on that we will go over. It's very cool. I like it a lot. But they're going to have a lot of talent trees. They're going for it reminds me a lot of old or classic World of Warcraft, where you get to pick your talent trees and you get to pick talents specific to, or not specific to one talent tree. You can go and make your own build. So I feel like it's going to be very interesting the way players choose to play their things, because they say right here they can choose the same build, but depending on the choice you made, you'll be playing a bit different and more in line with how you want to play the game. So I do like that. I'm all about people being able to make of course people are going to be able to figure out what talent points are the best for which class, and of course pick those talent points, but it's up to the player to play the way that they want to play. And I like that a lot. I like how they give the player a lot of freedom in order to make the game their own. And this isn't a competitive game by any means. Neither is World of Warcraft. I wouldn't say, for the most part, WoW is not a competitive game. But I would say it's far less competitive than World of Warcraft, because it's not technically an MMO. You're not playing with people all the time. But anyway, let's go over here and talk about the talent trees. So what they are saying here, for example, the Druid has 2 separate talent trees. It's not shown in the demo. I didn't get to see anything, just a couple screenshots from the demo. But from what I understand, right here it says just pretty much the same thing for World of Warcraft Classic. You can fill up a talent tree completely, or get to the end of a talent tree, but you still might have talent points left over, so you can put them in a different tree. So I like that idea. They also go over how you get talent points, and it is exactly just like you do in Classic WoW. You get 1 per level, and again, the talent trees or the talent skill system work exactly like World of Warcraft Classic, from what I understand. You get to choose your skill points you have earned to unlock brand new skills or rank up existing skills. Oh, wow. So, of course, that reminds me of Classic WoW. You rank up your skills all the time. You get new spells all the time, but you kind of get to choose whether or not you want to get them. Mostly, it's a money barrier to getting your new skills and upgrading your skills. I was also very curious as to why they brought the Druid back, because the Druid was notoriously missing from Diablo 4. or I'm sorry, Diablo 3. They did bring the Necromancer back in a little bit of a DLC type pack thing, but the Druid was a fan favorite from Diablo 2. What was it? Lord of Destruction expansion pack. But they go over here and they explain why they brought it back. So apparently what happened was there was a concept piece of art that caught the development team's attention, and once they saw it, they were like, okay, well, we got to do it now. So I guess send in your art to Blizzard, and maybe you'll actually have a big impact. But I'm very excited to see what they do with the Druid. It looks very different from what it did in Diablo 2. So I'm interested to see what they do moving forward with a Druid. They also go over how loot will be distributed in Diablo 4 as compared to Diablo 3. So one of the biggest problems in Diablo 3 was that legendaries kind of just dropped and were handed around like candy. So they say, for example, right here, we won't be dropping legendaries in the crazy amounts that we saw in the past. So that's good. People are actually going to have to work to get their gear, from what it sounds like, and that's always great. One of the biggest things that people complain about in World of Warcraft is that you can just it's too RNG based, where you can just get a piece of gear, but it can be Titan Forged, it can be War Forged, it can have sockets, it can not have sockets. There's so many variables in getting gear. Whereas in the past in World of Warcraft, there was an item, one item that you worked to get, but you can't really choose nowadays what kind of item you want to go for, because there's 3, there's 4, there's 5 different variations of that item. So I like how they're doing that. Of course, there's going to be a bunch of different variations, more powerful versions of the same item, even in the end game, whatever. That was in Diablo 3, so I guess they're going to be going for the World of Warcraft approach, as you can just get you can hunt down items, and I like that a lot. So what I feel like made a lot of Diablo 3 players quit, including myself, was the end game of Diablo. Diablo 3 had adventure mode and it had the rift. I did not give any attention to the rifts. It was basically, from what I remember, it's been so long now, they were basically just like challenge mode, kind of like dungeon things, where you go through the dungeon and then it gets harder and harder, or it starts out really, really hard, and you bring a friend and then you complete it, and it's basically just like a dungeon world quest in WoW. I'm sorry for all the comparisons to WoW, but that's kind of how I compare things. Especially in this Blizzard ecosystem. Diablo 3 also had adventure mode, and adventure mode was exactly the same as World Quest. You have a task, and you click on the waypoint, you do the task, and then it's over. So yeah, the end game for Diablo 3 was it really just got boring, which is really unfortunate. So I really hope that they improve upon it with this key dungeon. They say it's similar to the Rift, but it's different enough. I guess it gets harder as you get through it, and apparently it's going to be they're gonna have replayable loot. I just hope that they do it right, because it has to be engaging for people to want to come back and do it. Like, there's plenty of people that only log into World of Warcraft to do raids or their mythic dungeons for the week, and what the developers want to happen is to have people log in every day, but they need to figure out a more engaging way to do it, because world quests in WoW have proven that after a while, people just stop logging into the game because they don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. They need more content. So I guess we'll see how that goes. And I know that there are a lot of questions in this article that I'm kind of skipping over. I'll let you guys read whatever you want to read in the article. Of course, I'll have it linked down in the description below. But the last thing that I want to talk about is maybe they have plans for crossplay. Now, this is one of the things that I thought was very interesting that they didn't include for the console releases of Diablo 3. Even if they only allowed crossplay between consoles, but they did not allow any kind of crossplay. VentureBeat asked them if they would have any plans for crossplay because they did say that it is coming to PC, Xbox One, and PS4, which I don't think that it'll actually. Maybe they will release it for those current consoles, but I feel like they would have to start making or developing a version of these games for the PS5 and the Xbox Scarlet, because those consoles are right around the corner. And I think anybody that's a fan of Blizzard knows that this game is not coming out next year. So there are heavy rumors that these consoles will be completely backwards compatible. So I guess a PS4 and Xbox One version of the game, you can just buy that. You can pop it into your PS5 or Xbox Scarlet, and it'll work just fine. But I feel like that if they want to make any improvements to the game, whether it's frame rate or just overall stability, they would want to develop specifically for the next-gen consoles. But I don't know. And of course, they haven't said anything on the topic of crossplay, but they said that they are interested in it. And I feel like now, especially nowadays, where even Sony is conceding to the idea of crossplay, they would be kind of dumb to not include that kind of feature. If they come out, all the versions, the PC, the console versions, if they come out around the same time, I feel like it wouldn't make any sense to not include crossplay, even if it's just crossplay between the consoles. It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. If I feel like it's probably just an easy thing to do. It's not like a heavy. It's not like an MMO or anything, so it's not like you have to have. It's not like you have to worry about that kind of thing. It's not an MMO of any sort. You can play the game with your friends, I assume, but that's one of those things that I figured that they would include in Diablo 3, and they didn't. So I would be a little disappointed to see that they didn't include crossplay in Diablo 4. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Are you guys excited for what Diablo 4 is shaping up to be? I know I am. I'm very excited to play this game. I know that it's probably not going to be out until 2022 or probably. But leave me a like if you liked the video, and dislike if you didn't, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Maybe not as rambly. But I'll see you guys in the next video.